the first thing,
I
I
have to
guess.
start over because. All right, this is my fucking idiot self. I'm sorry, I'm cursing. I thought I pressed record, and this is how the Divorce Diaries goes. Mark Premiano, he's here, he's ready. I'm introducing him again. He plays Mr. Hannon. He's executive producer, former member of the Sunday Growlings team. Mark Premiano.
Hello. What are you drinking there? Pellegrino. Nice. I just have a Starbucks cup filled with water. No gas. Sin gas. Hi. Yes, it's not the Sunday team. It's the Sunday company, and I am an alumni of the Groundlings Sunday company. We don't wear uniforms or helmets. We're a company of actors that used to get on stage together and have a good time. Hi. So yeah, I've been part of this process with you for a very long time now. I've been workshopping stuff with you, testing out your new rights, doing some reads with you and figuring out how certain things sound versus the way it sounded the week before. I've watched you gather, a lot of ground and pick up stuff along the way and grab a director and all that stuff. We've watched, what you said, a year we've been doing this?
It's been a year. We started last year, right maybe around this time. Remember we did the podcast of like some of the script that I started to create, me, you, and Doug.
Right.
And it was like random stuff though. It was really random.
But it's based on your stand-up act, which has been going on for years and years.
Yeah. When we first met, I think I just started doing stand-up. I'm gonna get my light. And when I first met Mark, he knows I think the thing I always think about is Mike the cop in the pilot is the guy that I had just broken up with. And do you remember what happened in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to discuss it, but
I want to discuss it. It's the more
So we met at a bachelor party, Doug's bachelor party, and you were the only female there for a little while before other female friends of Doug's showed up. But so you were part of the male sort of normal male routine, which is we were at a strip club in Las Vegas, and you started crying in the dark, loud room. Like it was very dark and loud, and there were strippers all over the place, and it was like a war zone in there of strippers, and you just start crying, and it was like, oh my God, what's going on? And you were like, there was a stripper that danced a certain way, and it reminded me of a time that I was with Mike. And I was like, what is happening? And it was like a way you danced for him or something you were thinking about. You tell me what it was.
I'll never forget it. I started crying because it was I gotta try to keep this PG. It was the way of the gyration of the movement of the lap dance that made me remember our intimate moments. And Mark literally did a double take. He was like,
well, first of all, it's not common. I mean, I don't go to strip joints all the time, but I think most people would be shocked to see a crying woman inside a strip joint, unless it was like somebody that just had her hair ripped out, like tracks on the floor, like crying because she got beat down or something from like she stole somebody else's money, guy or something like that. But you were crying because it reminded you of something you did that made you emotional in a nostalgically emotional about it was bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. And I think I had met you like the day before that. Yeah. And I think we had all played like the only thing we had done like up to that point was before that I think we had played like Crimes Against Humanity in a group.
And the bus ride from
that was
LA.
That was I think you were on that bus too?
That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I cried on the bus ride though. Remember with the
I remember that. So the party bus you're talking about.
Yeah.
from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. Yeah, that was interesting too. And I wouldn't say it was fun. It was memorable, but it was like there was the air conditioning broke or something, and it was like over 100 degrees outside, and the air conditioning in this bus broke, and we were like at least 2 hours from Las Vegas. I don't consider that fun, but that was what happened.
I this is why, Mark, like I'm have laughed already so much that I've done a workout for the day. You're just a naturally really funny guy, and like the delivery of his story with things, it's just hysterical. And Mr. Hannon's character, you play him so well. I mean, there's people that's read the script, saw you read for him, and we're like, oh my God, he's really funny, that don't know you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. They're like, he's perfect.
Well, I hope. So there is a real Mr. Hannon, but I don't know what he's called. But I don't think you need to say his name. But this is a real person.
This is based off of many people.
Oh, it's a conglomerate of a bunch of different people.
But one of those people is also very much that character. So there's like him, and then there's other parts of those other people that are him too.
So I see this guy as sort of a tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So he is he's kind of like lucky to have this job. He like happened into it because he's kind of running the school, and he just was like kind of like given this job, and but he doesn't do the job properly, nor is he qualified to do it. But he like throws his weight around like he's like God's gift to the world. Is that basically right?
Oh, that's a good point. And you don't even know the real guy that's based off of. So yes.
Oh, see now you've already backtracked on what you said before. You said it was a bunch of people.
It is a bunch of people, but they're all similar.
Okay. But so anyway, the guy, but you've written him sort of also as a possible philanderer, like somebody who has also like sort of extracurricular stuff going on behind his wife's back. And I don't know if we'll get into that in the pilot episode, but you've alluded to it a few times.
He's based off of many school administrators that
he's very self-involved, I guess, would be but also like sort of like acts like he knows what he's doing, but it's clear that he might not.
Have you ever worked for somebody like that? That's like also because the boss.
I think that there's a lot of people that are like middle management that don't deserve their positions and sort of act like they know they've got it all figured out. You know, yeah, I think that's a common thing with a lot of like bosses and stuff.
And I think that's why I like Mr. Hannon to be this, like, I just wrote a lot of his lines based off of my interactions with a lot of middle management bosses that couldn't get my name right, because he never does. And
well, that's not necessarily their fault, but I mean, I think that some people take it to a different level. But I think your name is not necessarily, it is a bone of contention with I think a lot of people, and that's good. That's your battle.
Here's my trivia for you. How many L's do I have in my name?
I'm assuming it's 1.
Yes. Mark got it right.
That was a guess.
Yes, it's
because
1 L.
No, but for you to make it into a test, that made me feel like it's got to be wrong in some way. So because I would assume Michelle would have 2 L's, but since you made such a point of asking it, I was like, 1?
So here's the thing.
1 L?
Yeah, no, it's 1 L, and everyone spells it wrong. My older brother spelled it wrong once because his wife's middle name is Michelle with 2 L's, and I'm like, yo, that's my name though. You've known me since I was born. So it's Michelle.
I have a sister named Renee, and she has spelled it like 3 different ways, with an accent, without an accent, 2 N's, 1 N. So I understand.
But I've always had the 1 L. Mark is so fucking funny.
But the fact that you asked me like I was going to get it wrong was almost like a challenge. Like you were saying, like, it's like, okay, question. How many L's are in my name? Huh? And that's like, so I can pretty much from your attitude guess that it's going to be not the norm. and the norm would be two L's. And as long as you're aware that the normal's two L's,
yes, I am.
Then maybe you won't be upset when people spell it wrong. Do you understand?
Oh, he's serving me.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to help you be happier. You know what I'm saying? Before you get upset at other people for not knowing you well enough, maybe you should take stock in what's normal and what should be expected of people before you get upset. You know what I'm saying?
What? You're right. Mark
Yeah.
Mark does have a tendency to calm me down. When I've called you a couple times throughout the last year on fire about things. Mark has a nice way of just bringing me back down to let's not get a restraining order.
Well, I don't remember that ever being a threat, but I do remember you getting a little anxiety ridden about something that really wasn't that important.
Yes, I called the fire. It's something about with a pitch or something, and you were like, "What are you talking about?" I'm ready, full guns blazing all the time. I think with my reactions to things, that's what Michelle's character kind of tends to do with Mike, with even eventually down the road with school. And now I haven't shared this with you, but I started to write an outline for the series 1 that was revised from the first pitch deck. And at the end of the season 1, Michelle has an experience at school where kids are making fun of each other and calling them really bad, inappropriate names. So I step in and I lose it a little bit, defending my students, right? The middle school boys are characters that come in and like taunt Michelle with Tessa, which is my puppet.
That happens very soon in the that's Tessa. That's the Tessa.
Yes.
Okay.
I was at Doug's bachelor party too. Michelle bought me a puppet
up. Oh, seriously? On that trip?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I didn't remember that.
Baby.
I remember there being a puppet up show going on. A couple of my friends were in that, actually.
Yeah, I remember. And Katie Rose and was there with us, and Ryan, me and Doug went, and I bought Tessa for Grace, and she didn't want it, and so I just used it for school, and she's stuck ever since. And I would just carry the puppet around from building to building in my teaching career, and everybody loved her. But the boys in the pilot throw her and toss her, and Mr. Hannon doesn't really do much.
You mean just you're talking about my character?
Yeah, he
right,
never really. Yeah.
So you're saying he doesn't do much regarding the puppet throwing? You mean
puppet
to try
throwing
to stop,
or helping her out?
To try to discourage the disrespect? You're saying, but you're saying you're not saying he doesn't do anything. Like, it's not like my character is just like.
No, Mr. Hannon does a lot. Mr. Hannon is one of my favorite characters because of the way you play it. I have to be honest with you. It's Mark just brings such life to the character, and I'm not blowing smoke up your behind because I've been laughing for the last 20 minutes, whatever we've been recording this, because of how funny you are. So I think that when people see this character, they're going to associate him with a lot of the bosses and middle management that like don't get it, or they're in a position they shouldn't be, and they're like, I feel like the fact that she doesn't have a classroom and all that stuff, and how he just avoids the fact that he's pushing her out the door, the partitioned room, the hallway.
Yeah, your space just keeps getting more and more crapped upon.
What do you
as
think?
Time goes on?
What do you think is exciting to tell everybody about the pilot? What do you think we should share with them that we haven't already?
I don't know how much you want to share. I think I would almost like keep a lot of it a secret, but I think generally it's what I like about it that's unexpected is it's got a heart. It's got heart now, which is sort of it's expected that it should be funny, and I think there should be like awkwardness, which you seem to have an aura of awkwardness, so that's going to be inherent in the whole thing. But I think that there is actually a heart to it,
Oh, I
And
love
that's what I think is going to be maybe surprising to people that watch it.
Mark, that's beautiful. Just made my day.
Yeah,
I like
sure, it's beautiful. Yeah. All right.
that. Are you excited to come to Jersey?
I am. I'm excited to see Doug. Doug just told me that you picked his high school to shoot it in.
Oh yeah. So we're shooting at we have to confirm that, but that will be with our other executive producer, Dave Schoner. But we will be
Did he go to high
confirming.
school there also?
I did not. I went to a
No,
more urban high school than that.
Did Dave go there?
Oh no. He just
Okay.
lives there. He's on the
Okay.
Board of Ed.
Because I think that's what's going to be interesting to me. Because I grew up in Pennsylvania, so
I know.
I'm from about an hour away from there, or less. And I have friends that still live in that area, so I'm very familiar with Jersey.
Kenilworth,
But
you were telling me, right?
well, no, they actually live in Somerset now.
Oh, yeah.
But he's actually the general manager of the what is now a double A Yankees team. My friend. So they like the Yankees just took over his independent baseball team, and now it's a double A Yankees franchise in Somerset. It's called the Somerset Patriots.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
So, but they've been the Somerset Patriots for years, but they were independent. They were an independent league baseball team. Now it's the Yankees just took over that organization, and so now it's a Yankees double A team.
That's a big thing. Congrats
It
to
is
your friend.
it's a big deal for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he's a great guy. So he deserves any good things that come to him.
Well, and so do you. And I'm excited that you're a part of this great thing, and you're going to be here in Jersey at the end of June and filming. So we're going to be filming in Cedar Grove as part of the school scenes. And Mark is, I mean, where else can they find your work? Can we tell them somewhere to go?
Find my work? You mean like show up at my work and say hello? I mean, you can just Google search my name and probably find some work. But I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
I meant like your Facebook page, your YouTube channel.
I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm a little older than you guys. I don't have the social media savvy that you guys. My daughter makes memes. You know,
yes,
that's about the closest. But you're not going to find my work in her memes. She is my work.
Oh, tell us about your kids. Your father, right? And you're divorced, correct?
My father. I am a father of two daughters. My ex-wife. I am divorced. My ex-wife gave birth to two of my children, both girls. One is 18 and one is about to be 16.
Oh, I love that.
And my 16-year-old makes memes like the wind. And so that's not my work, that's her work, but she is my work.
No.
So you're asking me where you can find my work?
Okay. Just Google Mark Primiano. Go to IMDb.
Sure.
He's been on a lot of stuff. He has been on Jimmy Fallon. That was one of my favorite things.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Yeah. Jimmy Fallon I was not on Jimmy Fallon.
No, but Jimmy Kimmel, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. So this is me messing up everything, but I love Mark and he's really funny. And he also real quick before we close out, remember the time that you were in New York City and me, you and Sloan and Grace, where did we go?
Well, we tried to go to the that diner. Stardust Diner. And that was the coldest day in memory.
Yep.
For me, I think it was like with wind chill, it was like -13 or something that day.
Yeah.
And I have never had, I mean, it's a great memory now, but that day I have never been more miserably cold. Like you didn't, like, I remember my daughter asked me what time it was a few times. And I was like, I didn't even want to answer her because like that would waste my energy and breath. Like it was so cold. But then the idea of taking my phone out and exposing my skin to touch the screen to find out what time it was was dreadful.
It was.
And we ended up going to Hard Rock Cafe.
And Grace was screaming in the stroller because it was so cold. She was
I don't remember that. I just remember being inside Hard Rock Cafe, sitting on the ground, grateful that we had an hour wait before our table was ready because we were inside.
Yes, that was a crazy day, but it was all part of the divorce diary journey too, because we were meeting with our kids and we're both divorced.
Me and my daughter waited for TKTS tickets that day. And we ended up standing in that line in that cold outside in Times Square, which is like a wind channel. Like we were in the middle of the wind channel on the coldest day. We waited in that line for about an hour. And when we finally got to the window, the show we wanted to see, I think was Chicago, was sold out. And we were like, and I saw like my daughter, like one tear that turned into an icicle immediately. And I was like, okay, let's like, we're going to go inside and talk about it. So we just need to get out of there and I think we went inside like the Lego store or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. No, it was the Disney store, which was like very close to that.
That's where we met you at, the Disney store.
It was awful.
Did you guys end up going to see a show?
No, we ended up, I mean, we still talk about that day. And my other daughter was with my ex-wife in Europe at the time.
I remember.
And the next day, my oldest daughter was like, it's really cold here. And we were both, me and my youngest daughter were like, don't even talk about cold or we'll fly over there and strangle you.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I remember we got on the bus and the bus was so warm going back from New York City to Pennsylvania where I was staying with my dad. We got on that bus and Sloan and I immediately like passed out from exhaustion, and she started watching I think like Key and Peele on her phone or something like that. And she was just like, she says that was one of her favorite memories of that trip, like that warm bus ride and being able to finally relax and watch whatever YouTube video she was watching. I think might have been some YouTube guy she was following.
That's an amazing story. I love that. Mark is a great dad. He's a funny actor, and he's a great guy. And he's helped me develop this piece into something that's going to be wonderful. And like he said, has heart. So go check out the GoFundMe. We need your help to fulfill our funding gap. If you donate today, you get a personalized video of Mark waving.
So donate today.
Bye, everybody.